So our conversation this morning is differentiating loneliness and
Being alone.
the solitude of loneliness. And of course, we have a lot of things to actually break down when we're having this conversation this morning. Um, I saw a quote by Audrey Hepburn. She said something. She said, "I don't want to be alone."
Okay.
Or I don't want to be. No, I don't want to be. I think
don't
I'm
want to
mixing
be
it
lonely?
wrong. No, I don't want to be lonely, but I want to be left alone.
Alone.
Exactly. I don't want to be lonely, but I want to be left alone. Now, if you ask me what being lonely is, if loneliness is the same thing as being alone, I'd say no. And this is it. For me, I think that loneliness is when you are well, the feeling that comes when you are sad and you don't have people around, or you don't
Around
have
you.
somebody with you, or you don't have loved ones around you. You know, that sad feeling that comes around you, that, okay, so I'm very lonely. I don't have people around me. I don't have a lover. I don't have family. I don't have friends. I'm just all alone in this world and all of that. That's what I think loneliness is. But I think being alone is an intentional act. To you have people around you, but you intentionally want to be alone by yourself. You can choose, yeah, when, so you hear a lot of people say you can be alone but not lonely. Like you know, there are times whereby mentally you actually need space. You actually need space to figure things out, to be in your own self, to enjoy your own solitude. Exactly. Like, you know, there are times whereby you want to take time out to you know, go out to the beach to meditate, to evaluate, to, you know, check out what's happening in your own life. I mean, you don't want to be crowded by people all the time. You know, there are times where you get distracted when you always have people around you. You're actually not evaluating yourself or thinking straight. You know, all of those things can happen to you. But if you are alone, you have that opportunity. You're reading, you're evaluating, you're meditating, you're doing things. You took time off by yourself. But when you're lonely, it's a different thing. And you know that people can actually be alone and lonely.
And lonely at the same time. Very, very
Like,
true.
in fact, you can be alone because you're lonely. Yeah, you can actually be alone because you're lonely. Whatever decision it is that you're making to be intentional to be by yourself was because you didn't have people in the first place. That's when you're alone and lonely. But when you have people around you, you can intentionally be alone. But you don't have people around you. You don't have loved ones. You don't have people that actually care about you. You're not feeling that you know, love. That's when you can actually be lonely.
Interesting. Okay, so we have a poem for you before we continue, and this poem is from our very own person, Ade Oyeyi. Well, I'm very sure you know him. He's our presenter too on the show. And I'll be reading the poem for you. So listen carefully, because this is where our conversations, you know, we'll derive our conversations from. And the poem says, solitude is not loneliness. Solitude is a name taken. Loneliness is a name given. Solitude is subjective, loneliness is objective. Solitude is welcomed, loneliness is a terrible company. The kind of company that loves misery. Solitude is the company that turns misery into imagination. Solitude is lived, loneliness is sin. Solitude is the truth, loneliness is presumed. Solitude is not loneliness. Now, I feel like this is actually very deep, and kudos to Ade. He really, really did justice to this. And like you've already said, I think this statement is just trying to state that there is a difference between being lonely and actually being alone, right?
Yeah.
So I would say, for the both of them, I believe it's a choice.
Okay.
But for loneliness, it can be a choice, and at the same time, it might not be a choice. I'll explain.
All right.
Okay, so for being alone, I feel like it is a very good thing, because we all want to be in that space where we can just enjoy our own company, right? I mean, it's not as if you do not have friends to band with or families to interact with, or, you know, but it's because you chose to be alone at that particular point in time, probably due to reasons best known to you, probably because you want to make some certain decisions without any form of distractions, or probably you're just trying to listen to your own voice. You know, you're trying to be in your own space. And you know, there's this thing, I believe we exude a lot of energy. Right? When it comes to interacting with people. Because when you're interacting with people, you want to take in everything, all their emotions. You want to make sure that you're not trampling on anybody's feelings or rights or anything.
Yeah.
And we've talked about validation and approval.
Yes.
These people would want to give you some approval. They would want to, you know, invalidate your feelings at times because
yes.
I mean, we are all human, and at times I could say we are wired that way. But then again, it can actually be mentally draining, right? Most especially when you just keep on listening to everyone's voice and you don't even have that chance to listen to your own voice, right? So at times being alone is you, I believe, is you giving yourself that gift of peace, right? Is you being able to, is you wanting to self-reflect, you know, is you wanting to listen to your own voice and not just every other person's voice, right? And I think it's a really, really good thing, right? But I would say that for being lonely, like I already said, it can be a choice and cannot be a choice, because we know we have some people that are really, really dealing with, how do I put this now? Mental disorder, that it causes depression, and interaction rather is out of the option for them, because at times, you know, when they're faced with some certain people, it gets worse. They get depressed due to what people say. So that one alone is a no-no for them. So I feel like at times you being lonely, it's not really a choice you make completely, most especially if you are faced with mental disorders and all of those disorders. But I would say it is a choice because it can be related with some internal factors, such as low self-esteem, for example, where you feel like you don't deserve people. You feel like you're not good enough. You feel like you're not good enough for people to interact with you, and so you feel like no. You know, you seclude yourself because you feel like you're not good enough. You lack confidence in interacting with people, and then you start to feel like you're alone. You start to feel like you're lonely. Everybody has deserted you. Or it could even be that you're a very toxic person and people deserted you. I mean, nobody wants to be around,
have a negative energy around them.
So if you are that kind, that's why I said at times it can actually be a choice that you made. Probably not, you're not conscious of it, right? But it could be a choice that you made due to some internal factors like this. Right? You're toxic, and you don't. Personally, I won't even want to interact with you if your toxicity, I see that it's already trying to, I'm already trying to feed off from your toxicity energy. Because character is contagious and people will not want to interact with you. So if you're toxic, it could be that you were the one that actually sends people away, and then you start to feel lonely.
Okay, so I also think that this conversation should lead us into how everyone should now be comfortable in their own skin. It's not a very easy journey if you're not. People that battle with low self-esteem, people that battle with loving themselves. It's going to be a whole lot. It's easier for them to actually be lonely because not wanting to interact with people, or not wanting to, not it's not like they don't want to, but they sometimes feel like they don't have what it takes.
Themselves.
Exactly. They don't have what it takes to be amongst other people and all of that. So it is a necessity for you to be comfortable in your own skin. It's a necessity for you to actually love you. Look, I say this all the time, that you cannot love other people if you don't love you. You cannot give what you don't have. I can't say that I love you and I don't love myself. I'm not taking care of myself and I want to take care of you. How am I showing that to you? How am I? What am I doing? I'm probably just doing eye service, or I'm just being a hypocrite, really. But I mean, it's very important that you're comfortable in your skin. You're comfortable enough to love you, to actually be alone. I have a couple of people around me that are finding it a little bit difficult to actually be alone or be by themselves, actually spending time with themselves, or being in solitude, or have that solitude moment. And it's okay, so you know what, guys, I want to take some time out to reflect, to meditate, and to do this thing. They can't do it because they just feel like they will not be able to enjoy their own company. You should be able to enjoy your own company, because when you came alone. Only if you're a twin or triplets or sextuplets, or all those people that came with companies. Apart from that, even twins sometimes enjoy their own company. They come, as they grow up, they become individuals that want to do their own things. I want to be able to make my own decisions. I want to be able to enjoy myself, pick up a book and read for myself, sit down and meditate and think of things for myself, write things down, enjoy my own space, listen to music with myself, watch movies with myself, eat by myself. We have a lot of people that cannot do that, like at all. And it's quite interesting.
Well, I would say that for people like that, I don't want to put a percentage to it, but I just believe that it's because all their life, they've constantly been seeking approval and validation from people, how to live their life, how to do this and that. So when those people are not there, they feel like the world is over. They feel like their life is meaningless. They feel like they don't have any say for themselves. They doubt their own ability to want to stay in their own space, enjoy their own company, think, listen to your own thoughts and feelings, process it. But I mean, when people often seek validations from people, approval from people, it becomes worrisome, right? Because when they're not there, it is a problem. And I feel this is one major problem that people are facing a whole lot. They cannot make certain decisions by themselves until someone tells them. You even see that some of them have great ideas, but until they talk to you that, oh, okay, so Omobolade, this is what I think. I'm not saying that seeking approval, seeking validation from people is wrong. I mean, there are times whereby it will be downright necessary, but it's not every time. If it is every time you constantly seek approval and validation from people, the day they will not be there, it becomes a problem. The day that you would now need to sit on your own and, you know, give yourself the approval you need. Your own approval is good enough, but it's a lie. It will not work because they don't believe in themselves.
I mean, you've actually said it all. It is important that you actually look, as much as we want you to enjoy your own solitude, we don't want you to be lonely. That's the conversation we're having this morning. We want each and every one of us to enjoy their own company. It helps you actually set goals, set boundaries, give yourself some space, give yourself air. You know, it helps you enjoy your own space, enjoy you. I mean, you should have a sense of self that is myself first before other people. Whatever religion it is that you practice will say that anyways. That, I mean, if you're going to show love to other people, show yourself some love first. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being selfless, but before you can be selfless. you have that self first. There is a self before you became selfless. You get me? So there's that sense of self that you need to understand first. I mean, there's going to be that journey of self-discovery. There will be you trying to understand what it is to be you, because the moment you understand what it is to be you, nobody can actually just project anything on you. Because I mean, when you get into a relationship, you realize that if you don't understand your own self, other people will project their own on you and all of that.
You take everything in.
Exactly, because somehow we have a way of absorbing other people's energy. You realize that if somebody sad comes into that room, there's a high possibility that everybody becomes sad. And if a happy energy enters the room, it lights everything up. We also do not want you to be lonely. We want you to actually try as much as possible to mingle with people, make new friends. You can never go wrong in making new friends, but make sure whatever friend it is that you're making has that positive energy that you can feed from.